Curry, way downtown. Oh, what a shot!
What's up, NBA fans? Dom2K on the mic, and today is finally the day. Not only has 2K revealed all the historic teams that are going to be in the game, but 2 of you lucky viewers are going to be taking home a Legend Gold Edition for free because the giveaway ended yesterday. I want to thank you all for participating, and I'm going to announce the winners at the end of this video. But as for right now, we're going to be doing a follow-up to the video I did a few weeks ago when I did predictions for all the historic teams that were going to be added to NBA 2K18. It turns out that I got 9 of them right, so that's not too bad. A lot of the teams they put in here I just would have never saw coming because I didn't think 2K really needed them, and that's how I plan on organizing this video. So we're going to start off with the useless teams that nobody wanted, we're going to go to the surprise teams that not a lot of people saw coming in, and then we're going to go to the expected / thankful category, which is the teams that pretty much I guessed were going to be in the game and we're very happy they're there. I plan on going through what each team gave us, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the list. And kicking off our useless list is the 2006 Grizzlies. This is one team where I just don't know who asked for this or why anybody would have asked for it, and all it really gave us was a prime Pau Gasol before he joined the Los Angeles Lakers. He was averaging 20 points and 9 rebounds, and the only reason I can think they gave us this team was because, I don't know, they didn't put the 2009 Lakers in the game for whatever reason. They didn't give us the 2010 Lakers, and that was like one of the most requested teams. If you were looking on 2K's Twitter, every time they announced a team, people were like, where are the Lakers? And they didn't put them in there. So it gave us Pau Gasol, so I guess we're thankful for that. But after that, you got like Shane Battier, which we already had him, and I don't really think anybody cared about having a Shane Battier. And then there's Eddie Jones, we had him, so I'm not sure why the 06 Grizzlies are here, but hey, whatever, Pau Gasol, right? Our second useless team is the 2016 Warriors. Now, they're not useless from a playable standpoint because obviously a lot of people are going to like using them. People were using them in NBA 2K16, but they're useless as far as an addition to the historic team section because pretty much all of these players from the 16 roster are still in the NBA right now. That means we could have created them ourselves, and it's just too early. They were just in NBA 2K16. I get that they won 73 games, so yes, they're a historical team and they're a classic team, but it's way too early to add them. I'm thinking like around 2K20 or 2K21 would have been more appropriate because then that's when people are going to start remembering the 16 Warriors and how good they were. But as for right now, we still have a prime Steph Curry and a prime Klay Thompson and Draymond Green on the 17 Warriors, so I'm just not sure who was asking for this, especially because the 2017 Warriors are a lot better than the 2016 Warriors with Kevin Durant, so I just don't see the use for them. They're very good, but I think this was a wasted spot. They could have given us something better. Next up, we have the 2013 Grizzlies, and this is definitely useless on the count that they already gave us another Grizzlies team. Who asked for 2 Memphis Grizzlies team on our historic rosters for 2018? Who asked for that? Look, I get it, the 2013 Grizzlies are they're a good team. They got Marc Gasol, Zach Randolph, Conley, who, I mean, they were all in 2K17 as well on the Grizzlies. Zach Randolph just left, but they were still there, and they were a good team there as well. I think the 2013 Grizzlies is probably the best team they've had in their franchise's history, so that's why they put them there. They made it to the Western Conference Finals, and they were swept by the San Antonio Spurs that year when they went to play the Miami Heat. And while they're a good team, this is again another team that they're not that much different than the Grizzlies we just had, and nobody was dying to play with the 13 Grizzlies. They're not that old, they're only 4 seasons old, but I did say this in my 2K predictions video. I said that 2K is not afraid to put a team in that was just here like a couple of years ago. So yeah, they gave us 13 Grizzlies, and I don't know why, because it didn't really add anything. And moving right along with that theme is our last useless team in the 2014 Pacers. Now, while this team is good because you got Paul George right before he broke his leg, and this is a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals, they were actually the 1st seed in the East that year, I believe. It's a good team, but again, it just does not really add anything. If you were just dying to play with Roy Hibbert right before he lost his soul, and I guess you're in luck because that's what you got on the Pacers. And there's David West, and he's on the Warriors right now, I believe, and he's still in the game even if he's a free agent, so you could edit him if you were just dying to play with a prime David West. But yeah, I'm not really sure what else this added. This team is only 3 years old. So now we're going to move on to a better note with the surprise team list. The reason that they're called the surprise teams is because I didn't think 2K had a reason to add them, but they're not exactly useless because I think a lot of people will be happy that they're there. So first on my surprise team is the 97 Heat. Of course, this is a team that was always getting into it with the Knicks. You've probably seen that big brawl that they had. I'm not sure if it's the exact year, but the rosters are they're related. So I'm surprised that they added this team because it didn't really add anything that special to the game, and I kind of thought with all the new historic teams they were aiming to add things that we didn't already have. So the main focus of this Miami Heat team is Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning, and we already had prime versions of them in 2K on the Warriors and on the Charlotte Hornets. For what it did add, it did give us a Dan Marley character, so that's good because they didn't add a Suns team to this game. For whatever reason, we're not getting a prime Sun, so that means we're not getting a prime Dan Marley, but we have him now so we can edit his stats and we can make him in his prime. Then you got Vashawn Leonard, who I know was a good 3-point shooter, and I guess if somebody was dying to play with Jamal Mashburn, you got him too. I don't really know if anybody cared about this that much, so that's why I say they were a surprise team. They didn't really add anything, but I'm pretty sure there's some people out there that cared about the 97 Heat, so they're there. And then next on this list is the 99 Knicks. Now this may not come as a surprise to some of you because when I was scrolling through my comment section, I actually did see some requests for the Knicks, and people were asking me why I didn't have them on my list. Well, I didn't have them on my list for the same reason I didn't have the Heat. It's because we already had the main guys, or at least we had some of them. So first of all, we already had a historic Knicks team, which means we had Patrick Ewing, we had Latrell Sprewell from the Wolves, we had Larry Johnson on the Hornets, and after that, I don't really think there's that many people on this team that people cared about. There's Marcus Camby, and I actually don't think we had him in the game. He's a defensive specialist. And then the main guy on this team that we didn't have that some people are probably happy about is Allen Houston because he was a good player. So maybe people are happy about that. I actually believe he was in the My Team section. I've seen a My Team card for him. I don't play that mode if you haven't noticed, so that's why I don't know if some of these guys are in the game, but I'm pretty sure Allen Houston was in My Team mode, but now he's offline if some of you were dying to play with him. And for our last surprise team, this is a surprise in the traditional sense. Like, it was a surprise and we're really thankful that they're in the game. The We Believe Warriors from 2007. The team that basically did the impossible by beating Dirk Nowitzki's, I believe, 67-win Mavericks in the first round. That shit was crazy. So I'm very happy to have this team in there, and they gave us a lot of useful players and a lot of useful offense. So we've got Baron Davis, Al Harrington, a prime Steven Jackson, Monte Ellis, Jason Richardson. This team is going to be so much fun to play with. This team is like the epitome of what people think about the NBA today because they are all offense and zero defense, and I mean that quite literally. They rank second in points, but they rank 30th in opponents' points per game. So if you're going to use them online, you can expect to score way over 100 points, but you can also expect to give up way over 100 points. Either way, I'm most happy to have Baron Davis and Jason Richardson. I'm not sure if Jason Richardson was in 2K anymore, and I don't think we've had Baron Davis since like, what, 2K13 I believe. I'm not sure if we've had him on a next-gen console. So very happy to have Baron Davis in the game, and this is a team I'll definitely be running with a couple of times. And now we're going to be moving on to the expected / thankful list. There's 10 teams on this list and I guess 9 of them, so I guess you can say if you watched that video you probably expected that they were going to be there, and I'm glad 2K added these teams because I'm not sure you can say you're going to add 16 teams to a game and not at least have some of these guys on there. So let's go ahead and get into it. They gave us a 2002 Nets that made the finals only to be killed by the Los Angeles Lakers, but hey, we're happy to have Jason Kidd. We haven't had Jason Kidd in an NBA 2K game since probably 2K13 I believe, right? So yeah, he hasn't even been on the PS4 version unless you have him on my team, but I'm not talking about my team, I'm talking about offline where we can put him in my league and stuff. So very happy to have him. It's going to give us a young Kenyon Martin, a younger Richard Jefferson, and of course another Brian Scalabrine because we always need as many of those as we can get. This is a team that people have been requesting forever, and we finally got them, the 2002 Kings. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe we've had Chris Webber offline in a 2K game ever really, because when they were in the game in NBA 2K13, I don't remember Chris Webber being a playable character on there, which made them totally useless. Maybe they were in 2K12, but I can't really remember right now. But either way, we've already seen the screenshots, we've seen him shaking Mike Bibby's hand, so we are going to have the 2002 Kings with Chris Webber. And for those of you that are still complaining about that 0-2 series against the Lakers, now you can go make history right if it makes you feel better. We got the 04 Lakers, which is another team I guessed, and I didn't know if they were going to put the 04 Lakers in, to be honest. I knew that they were going to add a Lakers roster, but I thought it was going to be from like the 2008 to 2010 season. The 04 Lakers gives us pretty much a cheat code in the game because Karl Malone and Gary Payton should be ranked decently. A lot of people remember that they were old when they joined the Lakers, but before Karl Malone got hurt, he was still really good. So this is going to be a cheese team on there. You got a young Kobe Bryant, a young Shaq, and then Karl Malone, and yeah, this is going to be one of those cheat codes in Play Now Online. For the San Antonio Spurs, they decided to go with the 2005 Spurs. I'm not really sure if you guys are going to give me credit for guessing this because I said that they were going to add a Spurs team, and the two options I actually gave was 2014 Spurs if they were going to give us like an older but really good version, or younger Spurs. I think I referenced the 2007 Spurs in that video, but my point was they were going to give us a Spurs team that was either really good like 2014 or one where we could finally have a prime Ginobili and prime Parker in the game because they were missing. They had a Spurs team already, but it only had Tim Duncan and David Robinson, so now we got the younger Tony Parker and Ginobili since both of them are on their way out of the NBA, and I'm happy that they're there. This team I know for a fact is a fan favorite because people have been asking for them for years. They finally gave us a 2008 Nuggets, which means you are free to use Allen Iverson online. If you remember, my main complaint was we had Allen Iverson on the Sixers, but if you were going to take the Sixers online, you really had no chance to do anything because he didn't have a team around him. Now you've got Allen Iverson with the prime Carmelo Anthony, and yes, his team doesn't play much defense, but they are amazing offensively, and this is definitely a team that I'm going to be running with online a few times. The 08 Hornets are in the game, and this is a team that I'm surprised I got right. I threw them out there because I know Chris Paul is getting up there in age, and this was Chris Paul's best Hornets team, I believe. This is the one that really took the Spurs the distance in the playoffs, and this is a team that I just threw out there because I was struggling to get the 16 teams, so I'm happy that they're there. I love the New Orleans court, and the New Orleans team is pretty good too. They've got Peja Stojakovic on it, so he's going to be in the game twice, which is going to be really fun. Another David West, Tyson Chandler, and I just like playing with Chris Paul. I did that a lot in NBA 2K16, so this is a favorite of mine. Here's a team that we all knew were going to be added to the game in the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. Now that I think about it, they're a fan favorite, but they didn't really add too much to the game because there was already a prime Dirk Nowitzki on the 2003 Mavericks, and I guess we didn't have a Jason Kidd before this game because he's on the Nets now and he wasn't before, so I'm happy to have him because of sentimental value, but I can't really say much about like Dirk Nowitzki on this team because the Dirk on the 03 Mavericks was already killing it. What I can say is that people have probably used this team online more, I guess, because when I went online for the last couple of years, I don't think I ever ran into the 2003 Mavericks for whatever reason, so I think people will be using 2011 because I'm sure fans are probably more familiar with that squad. The 2011 Bulls were added to the team, and it's funny because when I saw some of the teams that they were announcing, like I believe the Pacers got announced before the Bulls, and when they had the 14 Pacers in the game, I was like, alright, that's cool, but I know for a fact they gotta have the 11 Bulls now because if you're pulling teams from this recent that nobody really asked for it, you gotta be able to put the 2011 Bulls in there, and we got them, so this is good because that's our Derrick Rose insurance. We knew a prime Derrick Rose was gonna be in the game because of the all-time Bulls team, but we don't yet know if we can manipulate the all-time team and edit the roster and trade players, so it might not have been of much use to us if we couldn't actually use them outside the all-time team, and it's just going to be good to have the 11 Bulls in general because this was a fun team. I actually used to use them back in the days of like 2K12 and 2K13, just the Bulls team that was led by Derrick Rose. I like to use them a lot, so I'm happy that they're there. This team I am very excited about, and I've been talking about them for a long time, the NBA 2K12 Thunder. So happy they added them because I have a lot of memories of going against them in NBA 2K12 online, and I used to damn near pull my hair out trying to guard Kevin Durant and Westbrook, but I have a lot of fun memories with them because it was such a challenge defeating that team, so I'm happy that they're in the game. And also we've got the Thunder team with James Harden coming off the bench, and I know a lot of you missed that, so the same things that people were doing in NBA 2K12, I fully expect to see this team all the time on NBA 2K18 online, and it's going to be pretty fun. And for the last team that was announced, well, this isn't the last team that was actually announced, but this is who I have last on my list, the 2012 Knicks, and this is the one team in the expected team list that I didn't actually cover. After I rendered that video, I immediately thought, you know what, how did I make a list without the 2K12 or 2K13 Knicks on there? And I'm happy that they added them in because this is another team that when I was talking about NBA 2K12 and the wide selection of teams that people were able to use online, the 2012 Knicks were one of them. Now I do have a question as to why they picked the 2K12 Knicks and not the 2K13 Knicks, because technically the 13 Knicks were better. I believe their record was better, their bench was better because they had Jason Kidd and Rasheed Wallace, but maybe that's it right there because we're still not sure that Rasheed Wallace is in the game, so maybe it would have pissed people off to have the 2K13 Knicks on there and you've already got one of the more important veterans missing. I don't know. I honestly don't know why they picked. I'm cherry picking reasons right here. Either way, I am glad that they have this team on there. That was a fun team to play with, and I'm sure a lot of people are happy because I actually did see them pop up in my comment section quite a few times, so I'm glad they added them. And that does it for all the classic teams added to NBA 2K18. You know, my opinion on 2K17 is never going to change. I think that's the worst 2K of all time. I hate it with every bone in my body, but 2K18 actually does have some exciting things. I'm liking the historic teams that they added, I'm liking the all-time teams function, and as long as this game has artificial intelligence that can think for itself like it could in NBA 2K16 and all the 2Ks before that, I'll be pretty happy because that'll already be a step above what NBA 2K17 was. And I know two of you fans are going to be extremely happy to be receiving NBA 2K18 for free because it was pretty expensive. So a little over 3,000 people entered the giveaway. I thank you all for participating, and the random winners from Instagram are going to be Simon15 and AP.3V. Make sure to check your emails because I'm going to be asking for details like what system you want it on and where you're at so you can actually get it when it comes out. And if you didn't win, don't worry about it because I am going to be doing giveaways in the future on this channel, and it's going to be a lot more than 2 people next time. So that wraps up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell next to my name if you want notifications on my video. Again, I just want to thank you all for participating in that giveaway. I'm Dom2K, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.